Let's take it back for a second, though. Let's talk about that time you got to do the Rock the promo.
Oh yeah,
Rock. I mean, this technically is the wrestling classic, so we got to talk about some of this wrestling stuff here. How was that? How'd that come about? Tell me the experience, because you got to work with Christian, Rey Mysterio, all these guys came through.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, I got an email. Well, my agent emailed me, and he said that The Rock was launching a YouTube channel, and his production company, $7, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he's launching a YouTube channel, and he's launching it with this series called Rock the Promo, and they want you to host it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck? Like, this guy's the man. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, like, what's the details, whatever. And it was shooting in California for like 4 weeks or something. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And like the pay, forget about the pay. Like, the pay wasn't enough for me to be like, I'm going to put everything on hold or like, whatever, and just like live in California for 4 weeks. It was like a couple $1,000s. So I was just like, I can't do that. Like, at the time, like, I could probably make more money doing what I'm doing now and focusing on what I'm focusing. Cause like, at the time I was also like really focused on growth. So I was like, no, I was like, dude, I can't spend 4 weeks in California. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to do that. So he was like, okay, whatever. And I kind of forgot about it. And then apparently he really wanted me to do it. So he had his team come to New York instead to shoot it. And they were like, if we come to New York, will you do it? And I was like, yeah, I'll fucking for sure. So, and he showed me an email, and like, I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't remember what it was, but it was an email from him, not to me, but to his team that they forwarded to my agent. And he like had screenshot something that I said or something. And he's like, oh God, I love this kid. And then they brought the team to New York, and I was like, oh my fuck. I was like, now if I say no, I'm a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing it. And dude, his team was fucking awesome. They were some of the coolest people. And also he is the real deal. Like, I have met a lot of people that are way less famous than this guy that are fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And they take themselves so seriously, and they're just like the worst. But this guy, literally, if some random assistant texts him at 3 a.m., he answers immediately. Like, there's no hierarchy. It's like he's on top of his shit, and he does everything from his phone, and he works his ass off. Like, so I do the Rock the Promo thing, and it was fun because I was able to kind of like make fun of like certain superstars, like Cody Rhodes. I was like giving him a hard time because how he was dressing. He was wearing like a fucking suit. I was like, all right. I was like saying like he just got back from his prom or something. So it was like kind of fun to be able to do that. But I hadn't met DJ at all. And then they told us that the finale was either going to film in Hawaii or Vegas. And I was like, please, Vegas. But it ended up being Vegas. So I flew there, and on the way there, I was on the plane. I mean, it's like 5.5 hours. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to kill the time by writing a sketch for me and him.
Yeah.
Just like I was passing time. So I wrote this whole sketch out, and it was pretty long. Not pretty long. Like, it would have maybe come out to like 4 minutes or something shot. And I was just like I said, it was just killing time. Like, I didn't really expect, and nor did I have previous conversations with anyone on his team that like, yo, I'm going to do this video with him or whatever. Like, that wasn't part of the deal at all. So I wrote this whole thing. And at the end of it, it like ended with me and him getting into an argument and him giving me a rock bottom or whatever. But I thought it was funny. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to send this to the production team. So I CC'd the team, and I sent them an email like, hey, I just wrote this on the plane. Like, if he has time and wants to shoot it, or if he's interested in it, then like, cool. But, so we get to Vegas. We have to shoot like a bunch of random shit the night before. And then the next day we're filming the actual finale, which the whole thing was improv. Like, they didn't give me any lines. They didn't like, there was like an introduction that I had to do where they gave me lines, but the rest of it was just fucking do whatever you're doing. So I was just kind of like, I was actually more comfortable in that too, because I'm horrible at remembering lines and shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, thank God. So, but I remember we're on set, and I'm like making sure I can remember these fucking 3 lines for the intro. And then he walks in, and everyone's just like, oh my fucking God. Because there's like people who are competing in this thing as well.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh my God, like, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he has fucking a bunch of people around him, all this shit. And I just kind of like stayed back, and I was like standing in the ring that we ended up shooting in. And I remember he gets in the ring and he walks up to me, and I was like, the first thing I said to him, I was like, dude, you're a lot smaller in person. He's not, by the way. Yeah. He's fucking huge. Yeah. So that like set the tone of like, you know, what our relationship was going to be like. And he was super cool, man. He immediately started laughing, and we were just fucking around the entire time. Like he was shitting on me, and I was making fun of him. And like I remember I told him too, I was like, I forgot what I said. I was like, where's Kevin Hart? Are you guys like dating now? I see you guys on social media all the time, like flirting with each other. And he was just like laughing or whatever. One of the guys who actually was working on the set, who I had never met before, they just like hired him in Vegas. He was like a light guy. And he's like, how long have you guys known each other? And I was like, I just fucking met this guy for the first time. I've never talked to him. And he's like, I thought you guys were like best friends. I was like, no, I don't know this guy. Like, he's a man. I was like, you know, whatever. So then we shoot the thing. Like, I also remember like the director kept giving us shit, because we would be fucking around and like laughing in between takes. And he's like, come on. And like, he was like, so we were like kids. We're like, okay. Yeah. Like, and then we had to shoot. So he was like super cool. And then after we shot, his production manager comes over to me, and he's like, listen, we can't shoot the thing you sent us. And at this point, like, I just
forgot about
basically befriended The Rock, like in person, and we're boys now. Yeah. And like, we're shitting. I was like, fuck. I was like, dude, I don't even remember that I did that. I was like, fuck this thing. I don't even fucking care. And he's like, yeah, we can't do it. He's like, but he'll do like an improv scene from it, like a part of it, if you want. We'll turn the cameras on, 1 take, and that's it, and we'll get out of here. And I was like, yeah. I was like, fuck it. Like, let's do it. So, or he told me that, actually. He told me that. He's like, I can't do it. He's like, it was funny, but like, he's like, I just don't have the time. Because he flew from Hawaii. He was shooting Jumanji 1 or 2. I don't even fucking know. Probably 1. And then he was doing this, and then he had to host Mr. Olympia, then getting on a plane back to Hawaii to film again. Like, it was just insane. So he's like, I can't do it, but I give it. I was like, dude, I don't even fucking care. Like, whatever. Yeah. I was like, let's shoot this thing though. So I tell him, and this part wasn't on the script at all. The only part that was in this thing that wasn't improv was that the end was going to be a rock bottom. Yeah. So I told him, I was like, all right, let's just do a scene where you tell me that I wasn't the first choice for this, and then we'll just argue. Yeah. We'll finish it with a rock bottom. And he's like, good. He's like, all right, cool. And I was like, all right. So then they were like, they just turned the cameras on. We didn't know what the first line was going to be. Like, that's how like improv the entire thing was. And the video still exists. I think it's on my channel. But if you watch it, like all of the lines, and even the timing of the rock bottom, like none of that was planned. Like, we just kind of started talking and like riffing or whatever. And then it went where it went. And it ended, and you know, it adapted.
Did you just know how to take a rock bottom? You never even practiced the bump.
Well, they cut it. Like,
was this from the video days of having wrestling matches? Like, you just knew?
Well, he didn't actually like give it to me on the ground. He just picked me up on his arm. Yeah. Oh, dude, I was ready to hit the fucking ground. I'll tell you what. I was gonna take a serious bump for that.
I'm like, this guy was already taking bumps, not even in practice. That's
no, but then he was just like, oh man, he's like, you know, blah blah blah, and yeah, he was just super fucking cool, man. Like, he was the man. There's nothing. Like, there was nothing crazy about him. He wasn't like too cool for anybody. He was super nice to everyone there. His mom was there too. But he was just the man. He's the coolest.